we go tonight. You'll see. Stick with me. Stick with me and you'll see. Got to wait for them to heat up. Compressor will shut off in the middle. It'll quiet down a little bit. Got to wait for the. We got to wait for the everything to heat up. It's cool. You've never seen anything like it. I guarantee it. I generally do this stuff in the morning, but it's been too hot. Yeah, and that's the KA75 doing drill holes. Yeah. Once the compressor catches up, I can get about 50 strikes before the compressor kicks back on again. Hello. We'll just wait a minute for the compressor to charge up and then we'll keep going. Meanwhile, come over here and watch the forge go. Start with a horseshoe. Straighten them out, cut them in half, pound the ends out. And now we're going to do the final bend on them. I'll show you how we do that. right here. We've got a bottom tool that's in the machine. Put the top tool on it. Even it up. Give it a whack. And that's our forged drawer pull. They're fairly labor intensive, but they're really cool. And they're made in America. American stuff. That's what we're doing. I'll come around here, you can come around here, and I'll show you how I do this. So as we take them out, we load them up. As we take them out, we load them up. So there's the hot one in the, I just set it in there. Make sure it's pretty even. And I've got a pretty good eye. So when they're tweaking, I've only done about 3,000 of them. And yes, those are hot. If you don't think those are hot, they're very hot. So this is not a joke. This is not AI. This is real. Come around here. I'll let you watch me do it this way. You can watch me run the foot pedal. Slide everything over. And that's the drawer pull. Sorry, man. It's a bad connection. We got really bad internet here. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is here. I'm in a steel building 1,000 miles from nowhere. So I'm sorry that it's a bad, it isn't good quality. It is, there's not a goddamn thing I can do about it. If it bugs you, go watch somebody else's live stream. These are drawer pulls. I'm making drawer pulls out of recycled horseshoes. And I've done about probably 17 or 1,800 of them at this point. I don't know exactly. Just get it right up here. You can watch it go here. Watch them really cram. And that's full. Yeah, it whacks pretty good. Overview. Watch me do the whole thing. Yeah, that's hot. Yeah, well, so I'm a blacksmith. I'm in Cody, Wyoming. My name's N.J. Pauley, and this is Cody Iron Works. And primarily I do knives, tools, and interior hardware. So I do toilet paper holders, do a few axes, a lot of toilet paper holders, towel bars, wall hooks of all different kinds, drawer pulls. I'm mostly known for my drawer pulls and my hat racks. I've got an Etsy store, and I have a couple of retail stores in downtown Cody that sell my stuff. And this is how I make it. It's every bit of it, every piece is made by me or my intern now, Aiden, in this shop in Cody, Wyoming, with mostly 98% American-made stuff. I want to get the heat even all the way through so they bend even. Yeah, kind of cool. There's not a lot of guys, I guarantee there's not a lot of guys doing this. So come over here maybe and you can watch me run this machine. This is a great little machine. At the time I bought it, to get it set up, was about $5,000. And it needs rebuilt pretty bad. It will move some material. Okay, so why that compressor is charging up. I wonder how many we got done. Let me count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 out of one compressor full of air. That's pretty good. We'll let those charge up. We'll go away from the compressor. I'll answer some questions for you guys while that's charging up. All right. Who's got questions? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry the quality is bad. As you can see, I'm in a metal building, and it works like a giant Faraday cage. It's hard work, but it's fulfilling. I work for myself. I have for 36 or 37 years. Makes your hands look like that. Keeps you in shape. Makes you tough. I do not need to go to the gym. Yeah, I'm sorry the quality's low. There's not a goddamn thing I can do about it. Like I said, I'm in a metal building out here in the middle of Cody, Wyoming, and it's just the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry. Technology is not something that they care about here very much. And to get really good internet here would probably cost me Elon Musk money. And it isn't that important to me. What's my favorite thing I make? Kind of whatever I'm making that day. I do a lot of knives, and I like doing the axes. Stuff that I build with my son is probably my favorite thing to do. Hello, good evening. We're waiting for that compressor to charge up, and then we're going to go back over there and use that KA75 and make some more drawer pulls. But we're just going to wait for the compressor to stop running. I should be able to finish them almost with one more cycle of the compressor. It takes me 3 or 4 hits per drawer pull to get them set. But they're very labor intensive. Those horseshoes go into the forge at least 4 times before they turn into a drawer pull. All I've got is I've got a grizzly that I use, 2x72 grizzly. That's all I use. I've never seen a reason to get a better one. It works fine for me. And that's probably, I don't know, they gotta be almost $1,000 now to buy one of those grizzlies. Everything has gone up since COVID. Like that little power hammer now, I bought that one originally for $4,000 delivered to my front door, and I think they're close to $6,000 now. Yeah, grizzly's fine. I have replaced the switch. I've had this one for 12 or 14 years, and I have had to replace the switch on it. What do you need? A hammer and a way to heat some steel, and a big chunk of steel to hit it on. Some of the very most beautiful stuff I've ever made was made on a 20-pound sledgehammer mounted into a fence post. And you got to get some muscle memory, and you got to get some knowledge built up. Yeah. All those kukris that you guys like so much from India, think about what those guys do. They've never seen an English shaped anvil in their lives. They all use old axle ends or whatever to hammer on. I make almost all my own tools. All the tooling for the KA75 I've made. So the top tool, the tool that bends the bends that is mounted in there, I made that. The tongs I made all the tools myself. It helps to be able to weld. Yeah, I know I could make one, but I already have one, and I'd rather make a new power hammer. So, boy, those belts have gone up. I used to pay $3 a piece for those belts. The last belts I bought were $7 a piece. It's crazy how much everything has gone up. Only if you come over here and let me put it in your mouth. How about that? Oh, there we go. Compressor caught up. I know it's going to get grainy again. Sorry. We're in a giant Faraday cage here. Well, you can do it. Here, I'll pull you up here so you can really watch it ka-thunk. Full tang, of course. You're going to do a full tang if you want them strong. I do a lot of hidden tang knives though. Let me get these done and then we'll go outside and I'll answer more questions for you. We've got about 6 more left, 6 or 7 more left. Then we can go back outside. They're very hot. They sure make a cool drawer pull. Leave the nails in them. I'll put them in the tumbler and tumble them off. Okay, here's the last one. We'll try to do it this way. That's it. Shut that off. No, I don't make that kind of a gun rack. I don't even, can you even get a back glass gun rack anymore? I don't even know if that's something you can buy. You know, we all used to have them back in the day, but I haven't seen a, I haven't seen a rifle rack in the back of a gun in 25 years. I don't know if it's even something that they make anymore. Let's get a little light on the subject. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. My $10 Walmart light's kind of failing me. Could I? You know, they're very simple to make. You wouldn't even have, you could go down and buy a piece of 1/8" flat strap, and if you have ability to drill some holes in it, you could make one. It's just two pieces of rod about half the length, a little better than half the length of the back of your window, and they have slots in them, and you use a carriage bolt, and the two pieces slide like this. The points of them are come down to sharp, and they slide up underneath the gaskets in the back window on the inside. And when they're nice and tight, you put a bolt in there and you just lock them up. They got a little slit in them. You just slide them apart like that and then put a bolt in there. Very easy. And then the U part is just the same thing. It's just 1/8" material. Very easy to make. And then I'd probably, what would you use? You'd want to coat them with something. Rhino liner, maybe. Get a couple of rattle cans of rhino liner, and once you get it where you want it, you rhino line it. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, blacksmithing. If you didn't watch the live stream last night, we were doing some coal forge work, and I screwed up a forge weld because I didn't have my shit together. I was trying to forge weld this bit into this axe, and it didn't work out so good last night. I was pretty tired. So there used to be a company. What was that company that the catalog, the great big catalog? Whitney, J.C. Whitney. J.C. Whitney used to sell gun racks. I think J.C. Whitney is still around. I'm sure they don't have a paper catalog anymore. Were they out of Cincinnati, Ohio or somewhere? I think they were. But back when I was young, they'd send you a paper catalog with about 1 million different car accessories in it, including steering wheel knobs and glow-in-the-dark shifters and gun racks, all kinds of stuff. Well, I think if I try to do it again, what I'll do is I'll get it close. I'll get it close, and then I'll tack it, and then I'll do the forge weld after it's tacked. Because what the problem last night is the bit kept slipping out of it because I didn't bother to cut some barbs in the bit before I put it in there. So, but I'll have to get in and clean everything out. Sorry, we're losing connection. Welcome to Cody. I'll probably get off here in a bit. Yeah, so generally what you would do on one of those is you'd cut some barbs in that, and then when you close that up on there, it gives that a place to bite when you close that up, and then it keeps that from sliding around until that weld takes. I can get them to stick. That's what I did with this one. You can see I got a good weld on it. I've build all these axes and I never get to use them because all I do is work in the blacksmith shop. So I never get to chop no wood. I often thought I was going to build myself a cabin one of these days and use my own tools to build the cabin. Here's my favorite one. This is I call that a Hudson Bay. It looks very antique-y. But boy, does that sucker cut. Holy moly. I'm going to try to do a piece of, I got some Osage. I'm going to try to do an Osage handle for it at some point. But that's a nice little camp axe, about the right size for camp axe. Probably 3 pounds. Now, why would I do that? Why would I do something silly like that? When I can take a piece of 150-year-old wrought iron and make a real war hammer out of it. Yeah. I ain't no backyard blacksmith. I'm a real one. I'm an OG. I've been doing this for 36 years. This is made out of truck spring, 5160 truck spring, forged out of one piece of truck spring. I'll show you what it started its life as. It started its life as that. That is some tough stuff to forge, buddy. That 5160 does not like to yield under the hammer very good. But we got her done. Well, questions, comments? Anything in the shop you have questions about? There's the axe wall. Here's one I made. I made this one for my son. Hello. He did most of the forging on this, and he didn't want it finished. I said, "Are you sure you don't want to finish that?" And he goes, "No, Dad, I want to leave it rough. I want everybody to know that we made it." And I was like, "Cool." And then he made the handle for it. What other one I got? Oh, here's another little tool I made. Well, sometimes you do stuff for fun, and sometimes you do stuff because you want the best. And my whole shtick is making stuff out of other stuff. That's kind of my whole thing. I can go get new material and use it. I could grind one out and punch an eye in one if I wanted to, but the time that I spent building those with my son is, I'll never get it, that's time well spent. Because if something happens to me and something happens to the world, now he knows how to do it. They call these a shepherd's axe. And they're kind of a cross between a walking stick and a tomahawk. This is when I modified. This was, and I knew it was ruined when I started it. You can see that somebody did something and cut a big knocked a big chunk out of the blade. But looks kind of cool. Looks like something a Viking would use. Hello. I have a feeling, Mr. Reese Kid, that you'd have a hard time finding your ass with both hands. You got to ask your mom where it's at. The chain helps dampen the noise, but that stand that's on that anvil is really, it's not very heavy, and so it wants to jump around, and the chain really helps to keep the anvil from jumping around when I'm forging on it. This is the little setup. This is one of my little filming setups over here when I'm filming my live streams at night. And it does help dampen the anvil a little bit. That anvil rings like a bell if it doesn't have some chain on it. I mean, it rings. There's my wall of tongs. Those are all little hand-forged tongs. Kind of the coolest of my collection. And then this is what they call a set of bush tongs. And so you don't even need to make real tongs. If you can forge a ring and know how to bend a piece of hot steel, you can make yourself a set of tongs. And these work all right. They're easy to modify. In a pinch, you can use that. But really, if you learn how to build tongs, then you're way better off. Punched a hole in my shirt. I'm a little hard on them. All right, well, it looks like everybody's done asking questions. I'm not going to do no more forging tonight. I don't even know what time it is. Yeah, it's after 10 o'clock here, so unless anybody else has got any questions about anything. About any of the stuff. Well, you've got good taste. Here's a rock hammer that I modified. I took about an inch off of this one and made it about a 5-pounder. That's about as big as I want to swing one-handed. But that hammer's probably damn near 100 years old. And I find them kind of sexy myself. Back when my son was digging in the garden when he was about 5 years old, I gave him that tool so he could mess around in the garden, made it for him. And when he moved back up here, he brought it back to me. He kept it for all those years, carved his name in it. Kind of famous for these wall hooks. These hat racks. I do tons and tons of them. I'm in Cody, Wyoming. We're the east entrance of Yellowstone National Park. And there's my 100,000 subscriber YouTube button. I was a little proud of this when I got it. So I wear it like Flavor Flav. Makes me feel like I accomplished something. Yeah, I don't have much here to show you. I got a little cool stuff. There's a little set of gate latches I made. They kind of got a little star motif on them. Hand forged nails. Kind of a cool little gate latch. I make pretty much all my own tools. Here's a measuring ruler I made. Hello, good evening. We just finished up forging a bunch of drawer pulls. So I'm answering questions for everybody about blacksmithing or life. Why would I do that? Good evening. Hello. Why are you surprised at the tools I make? Where do you think that the tools that you use come from? Somebody makes them. It's Cody Iron Works. Of course, it'll be backwards on here. Oh, man. I love... Oh, look, there's the drawer pulls. That's what we were just working on. There's the finished ones. There's the finished drawer pulls. My displays are empty because I've been selling the hell out of stuff. Oh, yeah, it's kind of it's not a lost art. There's clearly, once you get on that page on YouTube, you'll be, you'll get sick of seeing people making tools. But there's a bunch of guys. I mean, the knife guys. It's just ridiculous. The knife guys. I get sick of seeing guys making knives and axes on YouTube, so I try to do something different. Oh, really? Did you see the axes that I make then? I didn't make all those. Some of those are historic. That's what they call a cruiser. And they're small, they're a little axe, kind of almost one-handed. You can use them for splitting firewood, but my dad, when he worked for the Forest Service, carried one of these and he marked trail. And this one's got the United States Forest Service stamp in it. And they're just a really nice axe. This is a really good size. If you're going to the hills, this is a great size to take. Because you're not chopping down big trees, you're just cutting firewood and stuff, and they work really good for that. You can use them for quartering an elk, or do they work on Freemasons? I have no idea. I assume there's a private joke there, but it's beyond me. I do make knives. I do a couple of hundred knives a year. I've got a bunch of half-finished knives around, but I don't have anything finished because once I get them done, they're gone. If I don't sell them, they're at one of the stores downtown. So I keep very little stuff around here. Well, I imagine you could use it on anything you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend using a custom-made one, though. I'd go find me a pawn shoppy one, or one that looks like this. Yeah, you wouldn't want one with your name stamped in it. Like this one. That's what you'd want to use to commit murder. Once in a while, I'll refinish an old tool. This one, man, this must have got left out because boy, it was rusty. This is what they call a picaroon, and they used them for moving logs and picking up firewood and brush, pushing logs. I just cleaned it up a little bit and put a handle on it because it was just too cool to scrap. I could, but I'm not doing any custom work. I'm so busy doing drawer pulls and stuff. Any free time that I have is spent doing the stuff that I want to do for myself. I'm not doing any custom work now at all. I'm just too busy and old. I've got 2 little custom orders I'm doing right now in the shop, but that's just for some friends. Yeah. Back in another day, they used that stuff. And that's the biggest freaking double bit axe I've ever seen. That's a champion from Cody Works, but man, you swing that all day long. Look at the size of it. It's got to be 4 or 5 pounds. That's the biggest damn double bit axe I've ever seen. It's huge. I think this is a Tasmania style, but it's also a great big giant axe. Only my son's big enough to swing that sucker. He'd probably bust the handle out of it the very first thing. I think it was pretty well rounded up and or mushroomed out and somebody took the grinder to it. But, that's a big axe, boy. Yeah, you got to do that. You got to know where your temper's at. This is still my favorite one I've ever made, though. I've done several axes, and this is my favorite. It turned out so good. Straight. So that's why I haven't sold it. Because this one's got a, I don't want to sell it price on it. I don't know what you're writing there, dude, but thanks. I guess thanks. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to bed. This has been fun. But I try to do these once or twice a week or 3 times a week, depending on. It's been real hot, so I've been waiting in the evening to do that heavy forging like that, because it's been 90 degrees here, and I don't want to do that during the day. Once I get the shop heated up in the daytime, it does not cool off. So, bonjour. So I'm gonna go to bed, but subscribe and think about it and go watch some of my videos. I'm really trying to get the channel. I reached 100,000 subscribers, and of course that was a really great goal. But now I'm trying to get to 250,000. My goal is 250,000 subscribers. So And I don't have a social life, so here we are. So everybody have a nice evening. Please subscribe and get it hot and hit it, and always wear your safety squints, and go watch some of my other videos, and maybe go to the Cody Iron Works Etsy store. If you Google Cody Iron Works, it'll come right up, and go like some stuff. Thanks, everybody.